Hello, this is the Strategic Youth Network for Development, Ghana, and we have a couple of young people here to share their experience with COP as well as what they do at their various constituencies. So I'll start from my right. Can you introduce yourself and what you do?
Okay, so my name is Ino Kenyane, and I work with Strategic Youth Network for Development as the communications, as the head of communications. Thank you.
Thank you. So my name is Isabel, and I am the project lead for Youth in Climate Action at the local level at the Strategic Youth Network for Development, Ghana. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Gifty, and I'm also the head of biodiversity programs at SYND Ghana. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Ismail Ibrahim Badar, and I lead on the Sea Turtle Conservation Project at SYND Ghana. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Prince Yabua Ochre, and I'm the head of SYND Forest Restoration Project. Thank you.
I'll start with you, Isabel. I know you've been following up with loss and damage and other things which is happening. There have been a lot of pledges. Can you give us an insight how it affects you and the work that you do?
Well, the loss and damage agenda item is something that everyone coming from a developing country should critically follow. So I've been following everything about it, and in there we have the XCOM of the Warsaw mechanism, and we also have the Santiago network. So far, like, everybody knows that the account has been set up, which is good news, but then there are a few loopholes in there as to who benefits from the fund. How do we count the losses as well? So far, the progress on loss and damage is good. We also have the work being done by the ESCOM of the Warsaw mechanism, providing guidelines, how the work streams, found in climate change, and also, guidelines as to how loss and damage affects communities and everything like that. Also now we're from G77 and China and also the African group, we are seeking for the ESCOM of the Warsaw mechanism to provide guidelines on how the fund should be disbursed to the developing countries. So far I can say it's a good progress, but we're looking forward to more.
Thank you. And Gifty, what have you been following up on, and would like to also throw more light on it for us?
Thank you, Solo. So yesterday I joined the dialogue on the informal session on the oceans report, and then the AGN, of which Ghana is the lead, noted that there is a need for representatives of the African countries to be equally included in some of the dialogues or informal sessions or workshops that are being organized. So I feel like it is a big win for coastal communities, especially for we young people, following on how coastal communities can also adapt to the impact of climate change when it comes to building resilience, especially when it comes to mangroves, and then how Africa has been experiencing a lot of flooding, which affects most coastal communities along this bank. So it's a big win, and then we are hoping that the ocean dialogue would not just stop at where it is, but would have like proper representation as the AGN is putting forward, and hopefully we can all see how we can adapt to the impacts at the end of the day.
Thank you very much, Gifty. Prince, you are with the front line and what you're doing. Can you please tell us more about your forest restoration project that you're doing and how it plays out at COP this year?
Okay, so we believe that forest restoration is a nature-based solution, because once the forests are restored, it's able to sequester carbon from the atmosphere. That is why SYND, a youth-based organization, we are rolling out this intervention. With this intervention, we are planting local tree species which are resistant to fire and other harsh conditions. So we believe that once the forest is restored, we're able to sequester carbon. We also help to improve the ecosystem benefits. We believe that once the ecosystem services are restored, it will boost food production, thereby reducing food insecurity within the area. The project also has the complementary livelihood support system, whereby we are engaging the local people on how to undertake snail-rearing activity, honeybee production. So aside restoring the forest within the community, we also upgrading the livelihood skills of the local community so that they can also have other source of income. Thank you.
All right. Enoch, you are heading all the communications of SYND and what you are doing. Can you give us your impression and what you guys are doing from now to the end of COP?
Okay, so when it comes to communications, we all know that getting young people involved in such issues is difficult because the topic is not sexy enough for them to jump on. So what we are doing is we are trying to look at what young people are interested in so that we tailor our communications towards that direction to entice them for them to follow the conversation. So now we've realized that young people are really interested in reels and they keep on doing things in that direction. So what we are doing is we are trying to package short messages from COP, and so every day we give an update on whatever SYND is doing at COP, and then also whatever discussion is going on at COP, we package them into short videos and share on social media for them to also follow the discussion.
Thank you very much. Ismail, this is your first COP. What's your impression and what are you looking forward to and what are you doing?
So my first COP has been exciting. It's my first time meeting so many people with brilliant ideas, and you meet everyone with who has ideas on the project or what the person is doing. But I believe it's a good step. I've been able to network with people. I've mostly spent time at the Ocean Pavilion where I've learned from multilaterals and other companies working on their sustainability that is geared towards ocean conservation. And I believe it's a good one. I expect to give all and find possible partnerships to drive my work in Ghana in the aspect of mangrove restoration and sea turtle as well, sea turtle conservation.
Okay, thank you very much, Ismail. And I'll come back to you again. You're talking about mangrove restoration. Have you been able to visit any mangrove restoration booths here? And what are some of your impressions? What are you looking forward to take back home?
Okay, so I've been able to network with the DP World. They have a mangrove restoration here in I think in Abu Dhabi, and I'm looking forward to visit their site and pick one or two informations that they do or what steps they do to also carry it home to Ghana and to implement that.
Isabel, yes, I think this is your second COP. You are part of the CVF Fellows. Can you also take the opportunity to give us your impression so far? And what are you looking to? And also tell us more about your network, SYND, what's your coalition, and other things that you do.
Okay, so thank you so much for this question. I think I would always come from the perspective of being a youth, even though I'm a youth fellow of the Climate Vulnerable Forum. But I'm so happy. It's my second COP, but I'm happy about the number of the representation of young people we have here. It shows how much, in the next 10, 20 years, that we don't have any excuse of being better leaders, and we don't have any excuse of developing our countries in a sustainable way. So for me, it's been a great experience looking at how the issues are going, how solutions are coming on board, and how even young people are networking as well. For me, I think this is the fourth day at COP. I've met quite a number of people from different universities because I'm very interested in research and everything like that. So I've met a lot of people from universities in the United States and Canada and all of that. And it's quite an impression. Also working from SYND, every time I meet other young people from other NGOs or other CSOs from other countries, they tell me what they do, and I'm very happy about it, and I also tell them what I do as SYND and what SYND is doing in Ghana. And it's sort of bridging the knowledge gap we have from the global north and then the global south as well. So I think that is all I can share.
Thank you very much, Isabel. Gifty, so walk me through SYND and what you do, your various platforms. Can you walk us through a bit?
So I would just want to take off from where Isabel stopped. So basically, I think that the essence of COP is for us to learn from each other and then implement ideas that other countries are doing in our respective countries, learn from their experiences and then their loopholes that we can all fit into. So basically at SYNE, as I said, lead on biodiversity, we are currently starting a 2,000 seedling restoration of mangrove project at the Adang community, where we hope that that mangrove restoration will help the community to become very resilient to the impacts of climate change, and then give them an alternate source of livelihood so that at the end of the day, it's not just about building the resilience, but also giving them another form of livelihood that they can also depend on. But I would want to say that in as much as we are all doing all of these activities, there's a need for us to remember to involve the community people, most importantly, indigenous people, in all the activities that we do, because they know the lands very well. We are more or less implementers in their community. They know the lands very well, and it is important to liaise with them to have the necessary skills that they know about their land for the projects to be able to be successful, as well as faith leaders, because they also have a role to play when it comes to project implementation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Prince, I'll come to you again for you to tell me more about your project. How is it affecting the livelihoods of people in your community? And what are some of your challenges you are encountering?
Okay, so for us, we believe that once the project is, after its implementation, there are going to be a lot of ecosystem benefits, livelihood benefit, and climatic benefit. With the climatic benefit, we believe that it will improve rainfall pattern within the area. Once there's a lot of rainfall, it will boost food production. Also with the ecosystem services, pollination, nutrient recycling, carbon recycling, and the other natural mechanisms will be improved, because we realize that because the forests in that area have been destroyed through the human activities, it has negatively affected food production. Since they are not getting easy access to food, the cost of living has become very high in that area. This is forcing people to migrate from the area to seek for greener pasture. But once this project is restoring the forest with the associated benefits such as this honeybee keeping, the snail rearing, and the other forms of livelihood, it will let the youth in the area remain in the community. Also, the forest will ensure that they have access to non-timber products like herbs, honeybee, and other forms of food that which in one way or the other improve their health. So we believe that this is not just about restoring the forest, but at the end of the day, it's going to ensure that the community is well catered for, because the forest will come with a whole lot of benefit aside just providing rainfall and sequestering carbon from the atmosphere.
Thank you, Prince. Isabel, I'm coming back to you again. As a young negotiator, I know you've mentioned about how many young people are getting involved in these conversations. What are you looking for?
Well, for me, I'm looking for solutions. I'm looking for real, tangible, on-ground solutions. As much as we can talk, as much as we can say whatever we want to say, the only thing I'm looking forward is that we become resilient to the impacts of climate change, because it's already here. So what we need is real on-ground solution, and coming from a developing country as well, what we most importantly need is finance. We see them coming in with the finance, but we need more. We need the actual delivering of the finance to help us become resilient. So, I mean, that is what I'm looking for.
When the moment you mentioned about finance, is it the normal pledges which will come, or are you talking about how it will be activated, or will you also put or building structures to be able to disseminate the finance you're talking about? Because if they say money has been pledged and you go in, you can't tap into it, or when it comes, it gets diverted. You need finance.
Yeah.
Can you be specific what you wish the finance to use to that?
Okay, so I think I need everything you said aside from the pledges, because we realize that the pledges come in and they're more of like just for the cameras, just to let other people know that, oh, this is what we want to do. But then we actually need the infrastructure. We need the systems to work. We need real delivery. So that is what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for the pledges, but I'm looking for the infrastructure and the delivering and disseminating of the funds.
You talked about systems. Who are supposed to be building those systems for you?
Wow. So there are a lot of bodies we have. We are not just talking about the convention, but we are looking at we have the DFIs, the whatnot. Even our governments are supposed to be building up systems for us. So I think it cuts across everybody.
Okay. Gifty, how does the CSOs and youth groups like you come into play in this conversation? How do you see yourself in this conversation?
Basically, when we started the conversation, Enoch said that we are looking at how our generation is looking at the link between climate change and making the stories, in quotes, sexy for young people to be able to follow too. So if we are talking about climate discussions, climate issues, climate issues affect our basic life. It's not distant from whatever we are living in our daily life. So we need to find the entry points. And then at what level are we looking at this entry point? Is it on the governmental level? Is it on the is it on the local level? Is it on the national level or on the global level? So we are here at COP, then it means it's on the global level. What issues are we following? How can we make sure that our concerns are being channeled into some of the global discussions? How do we meet up with some of the demands, and then what do we do in our own space to be able to influence some of these policies or agreements that have been signed? So for me, it is more or less following on the discussion and looking at projects that could help we young people and then our country as parties meet some of these targets that have been set.
Thank you very much. I'm coming back to you. The question I want to ask you, so what's your biggest concern and how do you think it can be addressed?
So for me, I would always want to go with the indigenous people and then the local communities, because everything we do has to do with cultural practices, the barriers that the communities have set for themselves. So for example, here in Dubai, there's, if you pick the train, there's the space for the male and then there's the space for the female. It means that when you go to every community, you need to respect the rights of the people there. And respecting the rights has to do with even the least project implementation that you are doing. If you are adapting their knowledge, make sure you don't disrespect them and make them look like they don't know what they are saying. Let them benefit for the project. If you are going to use faith-based organizations within the community, make sure that the faith-based organizations that you are using are liaising with the indigenous people or the local people within the community to uphold the rights of the community people in the project implementation. That is the way that we get a win-win. We have a community that is climate resilient, a community that respects the rights, and then it's not about human rights issues being affected at the end of the day. So that's what I'm looking out for.
Thank you very much. Prince, will you give me a wrap-up? What's your impression so far? We just have to wrap up, and I want you to give me your last submission for this conversation.
Okay, in my last submission, all I want to talk about, I believe that in the fight against climate change, nature-based solutions are very key. Ecosystem-based adaptations are very key. So it is my wish that most of the commitment will be directed towards the nature-based solutions, such as the forest restoration, the restoration of our mangrove system, because the nature-based solutions are able to help us sequester more carbon from the atmosphere. Aside that, it also help the the local people to adapt to it, as my sister of the local people. Once we are implementing a nature-based solution within nature-based solutions so that the local people can benefit at the end of the day.
Ismail?
I believe my last submission will be on youth inclusion. I believe as young people, we are the custodians of our land. In the next 50 years to come, when we are facing the effects of climate change, the adults or the old people who won't be here is we, the young people, who are going to bear the consequences of this. So I believe every decision that is being taken at COP, every little effort, every little test that is being said in negotiation rooms, the young people should be in their minds. That's all I have.
Thank you. Enoch?
All right. So with my last words, looking at what we do, that is policy advocacy, and then also advocating at the community level. I am looking at tracking every commitment of my government, and then also the conversation at this global level, so that when we go back home, we can put pressure on our government to ratify whatever commitments they've made, and then also to include everything that they are promising here into the attempt to be informed about all the discussion going on so far, and for them to taking
whatever I've learned here down to the grassroots level, actually make our communities resilient to the impacts of climate change. Thank you.
Thank you, Isabel. Gifty?
I think my colleagues have said it all. So as young people, I think it lies on us to make sure that we uphold the mantle, because it's been passed to us. We are a lot here at COP, and a lot of young African people are here. Africa youth has a unique voice, and then it's not always about having the unique voice, it's about what are you using the voice for. So let's use that voice to ask for the action or the implementations to be done. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I would like to take this opportunity to thank all of you. It has been the Strategic Youth Network for Development. SYND hosts a platform known as the Youth in Natural Resources and Environmental Governance, which has about 8 thematic areas, but SYND works in 4 program areas, that is biodiversity, energy, climate change, and forestry. And we had our team here to tell you about what they do and their impression about COP and what they expect. I would like to thank you all and hope to meet another time again. Thank you very much.
I'm the moderator. Comfortable with the name?